full shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. I mean, like, we can put all that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thoughts and harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yes, people. We're back in the building, man. We're back in the building. We're here for an impromptu stream, man. I'm chilling. I was watching some Hawkeye, you know what I mean? I was just relaxing, all of that kind of good stuff. And I saw, obviously, the news with Liverpool. So, of course, we're just going to run through a bit of the news that I've seen over the last, let's say, 8 hours and stuff like that. But, of course, I can't do this by myself. You know what I mean, man? I want to chop it up with a couple of the guys, see what everyone's kind of saying, and kind of, I guess, you know, just get like a general consensus, you know, really of how people are feeling, you know, with everything, you know, in terms of Liverpool news. We're now 31st of July, coming up to August is tomorrow. Still ain't signed nobody. Yeah, I mean, so of course we'll talk about that. And you know, we've got the game against Arsenal, where in the UK it's at 12:30. So basically tomorrow morning. So of course, you know, talking a little bit about that. I'm joined, of course, by the guy that you just heard on the track. So those who keep asking me, yo, G, watch it. Stop asking me. Don't ask me. Yeah, the guy's right here. Pick up John the second, my bro, man. How are you, man? How are you? You're on mute.
Oh, you know, there's feedback on like my thing. Oh wait,
no. Feedback.
No, actually no, my bad. Because I had the YouTube link like literally.
Oh, opened up as it exactly. Yeah. I always have that on, and then I have to cross it out 2 seconds later.
Yeah.
How are you though, man? How are you?
Good, man. I'm good. It's 28 degrees right now.
Bro, it's hot.
Yeah, it's baking. I've probably got nearly every window open in this house. So,
bro, you say you got every window. Listen, the thing with this is why I don't like London weather. Yeah, it's here with London because it's all sticky and humid and etc. See, if I open all of these windows, see them flies that I'm going to be beefing with. I'm not even going to be like free. Like I'm not going to be just chilling. This is going to be a whole battle and army that I'm going to be fighting with. So I just have to put the fan right next to me, bro. I can't even lie to you, bro.
That's why sometimes I can't even have the window like fully open because I don't want to let them in. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, it's just long. I have to activate my slipper.
Bro, and listen, my slipper, I've had to get 2 slippers because I said I need one to slap the flies and then the other just to wear, you know what I mean, around the house. But of course, joining us as well this afternoon, big up Harris all the way over in Jamaica. You telling me, my boy, you good?
Yeah, I'm good, but I'm hot, man.
Yeah, bro, I can imagine if we're hot, you're definitely hot. No,
like I'm waking up, to mosquito bites. I've got enough mosquito bites, man. And it's like I put mosquito repellent on, and they're still coming for me. So
you got that black skin, man. You know what I mean? They like that. For some reason, black of the berry, sweet of the juice, as they say. Man. Big up everybody inside. Big up those, of course, who are watching as well. And I hope everyone's having a blessed kind of afternoon, man. It's like I said, over here in the UK, it's hot. I'm hoping that it's hot wherever everybody else is watching from. Big up Honesty in the building. I don't need Ellen DeGeneres at my club, but I would swap Joey Chi for Kudus. I hear it. We'll talk about that in a sec. KZ, Twitter carrying on about Gordon like he's Mbappe really triggers me. I hear it. I hear you, bro. Big up Alexander in the building. Big up Ale. Yo. Hope you're doing all right. Honestly saying, if we get Gordon, Tom Little will be like Egal. If we get Gordon, Tom Little will be like Egal, unbearable. Obviously, you guys have seen the news. Everyone in the chat, of course, let me know your thoughts as well. We've seen this news. Gomez and Anthony Gordon, the whole swap deal situation. So from my understanding, Liverpool wanted to do effectively a swap deal, but with money involved. So we wanted to pay 75 million. Effectively, no. What we wanted to do was pay 30 million in altogether, and we would have swapped Gomez and Gordon over. I'll go to you, John, and then obviously I'll go to you, Harris, after. And people in the chat, please let us know what you're thinking. When we're looking at something like this, for you personally, I know we were just chatting literally just on WhatsApp a second ago, but let the people know, man. How would you feel about that deal?
I'm still trying to make sense of it, but I feel like right now, how I feel right now about that potential deal, whether it's gonna go through or not, I just don't know how prepared Liverpool are to let a player like Gomez go. That's my only concern, because Matip has left, so we do need a defender. So if he leaves, that means we need two defenders now, and preferably two defenders who are happy to be in and out of the team, but not really be mainstays of the starting 11, which is a bit of a problem, because we need the back line that's like our standard back line. Because one thing that was the problem last season, I feel like contributed to a lot of our defensive issues, was there was a lot of chop and changing. Like you can name so many partners that Van Dijk had last season. I don't think that helps. So I think going forward, with this deal, I just think it's a matter. I think it may be a thing of, are Liverpool prepared to sacrifice a player like Gomez in that deal? Because I can think of other players we could have sacrificed in that deal that would have been worth in and around the same amount of value that Gomez is, especially in our attack. I won't say names, but in terms of Gordon, I feel like, is he better than the forwards that we have now? I'll probably say, obviously based on the season that he had last season, I'll probably say yeah. I do think he is a better finisher than majority of our forwards. He has a certain eye for goal. It's just whether his incline is gonna really propel him to get him to that level. Because I look at journeys like when we bought Mane from Southampton, I think there was still everyone within the fan base was like umming and ahhing, like, oh, is he really that player? Is that? And you saw the track, but he was already. You could see there was a certain incline on his journey when he was at Southampton. So I think the jury's still out on Gordon, but there's just something about him that I like. I think on the left wing, I probably would prefer him over Diaz, and this is just solely based on end product. So,
Nah, man, I hear that. It's funny because you just mentioned Diaz, and we still got Gakpo over there to play. You know what I mean, on that left-hand side as well. So the fact that this was, and big up Ali, you're right. We did actually agree to this deal. It was Newcastle who actually pulled out of the deal. I think it was something to do with their whole PSR situation, but they were able to sort it out at the time. So yeah, effectively that deal is now kind of null void. I think they're going to ask either for more money this time round, if we were to do something like that, as opposed to this whole Joey thing, unless, you know, Joey says, you listen, look, I want to play some football, regular first team minutes, you know, etc. Harris, man, you yourself, man, how are you feeling? Like, obviously, listen, at the end of the day, it's already been done in terms of that deal is now null void. We ain't doing that. Well, we're not doing that deal anymore at this current moment in time. But how do you feel about the sheer fact that we were looking to swap the two players, man?
I think there's other players that we could swap than Gomez. Like, I think Gomez, I said to you earlier that we don't have any other centre back that can cover out wide. And to get rid of him, I just think it's pointless. I feel like there's other players like Endo. I don't think he suits our style of play that we're trying to do. Like, how we play out from the back, we need two midfielders that are able to receive in the half turn, able to keep the ball, able to bounce the ball back to the centre backs with a good pass. And Endo is just not that kind of player. So I just feel like it will make sense to get rid of him and keep Gomez, for him to come into games where if we've had a big injury, he can just slot right in and he'll be fine. So I just don't see the point of trying to offload Gomez to Newcastle. And plus, we're just strengthening another rival, to be honest. And if we get rid of Gomez, I just feel like it will just come back to bite us.
Nah, man. You know what's crazy, yeah? We've got another guest in the house as well. I'm going to bring him in a second. What's funny about what you just said there is that we're going to strengthen another rival. This is where we're at this current moment in time. And no disrespect, by the way, to Newcastle, because I think, you know what I mean, you lot are calm. Yeah, I've got no problems with Newcastle fans or their team. I like the team and stuff like that. But the fact that we're now looking at them as some sort of rivals, I don't know. I like, in my eyes, I don't feel like I've heard any Arsenal fans say, yeah, Newcastle are rivals. Or I've heard Liverpool City fans say, yeah, Newcastle are rivals. The fact that we're saying that at this current moment in time, yeah, man, it's pretty funny, man. Big up Mr. Colombia himself. Yeah, I mean, another one who's away on his travels, you know, enjoying the sun out there on holiday, man. Big up to your damn self, my bro. How are you? Is he there? I'll take it, Mr. Goggins ain't there. Yo, bro, if you're about, then yeah, give us a shout, man, and jump in whenever you know what, can.
G? You know what you said about rivals? I feel like we've regressed. Like 100%. If you look at the 21/22 season, I used to look at Arsenal, and I used to cook my cousins all the time. I used to tell them how dead their team is. Now I'm looking at Arsenal as a threat. Like I'm going into games thinking, yeah, we can get spanked. But I used to look at Arsenal and just think, yeah, little 4-0, 3-1. Yeah, but like how we've regressed so much in such a short space amount of time.
I think,
and then Arsenal, they've just gone above us. Like I think they're going to win the title next season if they sign who they need to sign. So you've got City, Arsenal, then you've got United, who have been strengthening. We're in that top 4 category. Are Liverpool going to get top 4? That's why I see Newcastle as a rival now, because they've got quality players. They've got Botman. I know he's injured. They've got Cher. They've got Trippier. They've got Isaac. They've got Barnes. They've got Bruno.
When's Tonali
what's
back?
his name? Jalen Willock. I think he's back. Oh yeah, Tonali as well. I think so.
But, bro, he's gonna. You know what he is? He's the definition of a new like a new signing. Man missed a whole year of football, well, give or take, basically, apart from like the first couple of games. Now he's coming back in. Obviously, I don't know how that's gonna work out, but that's a bit mad.
That brother's story is funny, man.
yeah, for real. For real. But sorry, go on. Harris, go on.
Yeah, so like now it's kind of like how have we regressed so much just in terms of quality? Like we haven't replaced Mane still, in my opinion, in terms of like for like player profile. We haven't replaced Firmino. We've tried to mold Gakpo into a centre forward, which didn't work. So now it's like, what do we do? Now we've got a new coach who I think plays attractive football. I've seen him being able to adapt to the players that he has, because he played 2 10s against Betis. And I think that's really impressive, because I feel like Klopp would just shoehorn someone in centre forward and just do the same tactics, which to me is dead. But Slot has shown me his flexibility as a coach to try and adapt his players into a new role, and they've all looked fine. Well, most of them looked fine. A certain Japanese guy was looking a bit
not so great.
But so
listen, man, look, it's and big up everyone, by the way, in the chat, man. I'm gonna rifle through some of the comments in a second, but for me it's just funny, you know, because as you know, you guys are mentioning about, you both said the exact same thing, which is you would rather potentially look at a different player as opposed to a Gomez, just because obviously in terms of the options that we have, you know, that we've got left in the team, right? And obviously if Gomez was to go, obviously I don't know what position he is at this moment in time. Like, you got to realize technically he's a third choice left back, third choice right back, third to fourth choice centre back. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, he's not first choice in any position, left back, centre back, or right back. So obviously for him, I'm looking at it thinking he's probably sitting there thinking, right, if I go to Newcastle, I'm playing way a lot more than I was going to play at Liverpool. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because as I said, third choice left back, third choice left back, third choice right back, third, fourth, like, bro, that's not really looking good for him. So that's why I asked, like, in terms of when we're saying you'd potentially use someone else, I get it because of the versatility that he's got. But don't you guys think that, obviously, I know it's a swap deal with some money on top, but even let's just say, forget Gordon for a second, would you sell Gomez? Just as in isolation, would you sell Gomez?
No.
Even if someone said, you know what, we'll give you 55 million.
No.
55 million, you're saying no to Selly Gomez?
No, G. No.
No. It's just that we're kind of digging ourselves a hole if we sell him. If you can say, all right, you know what? If we're gonna sell Gomez, go and get me what's his name? Get Twitter from Feyenoord because he can cover the same positions as Gomez. We still need a utility player that can do that role.
But
yeah,
okay. You know, actually, go on. Finish off what you're about to say about City. Let me just see where you're heading with this.
City's got Nathan Ake, who can cover centre back and left back. Same with Gavadio, centre back and left back. They got Walker, who just plays right back. Stones can cover CDM, centre back, right back. DS just the centre back, and also a Kanji, who can cover all over the pitch. So that's their utility player, a Kanji. Left back, centre back, right back, and CDM. We still need that player in Gomez to stay. If you can offer me 55 million or 60, yeah, I don't think we'll get 60, but around that price. But he's just saying, okay, if you're gonna go to Newcastle, we're gonna get leader to replace you, who's younger. Then okay, cool.
Okay. So I was trying to see which players are you gonna use, like in the example, because the way I see that is that I'm not saying you don't need a utility player, so to speak. I'm not saying that. Like I do think you do need one. I just don't think that has to be Gomez though. Like I just don't think like even a Gertruda, I still wouldn't even assign him because this whole you can fill in all these different positions. I'm like, I only really needed to fill in potentially 2 if I'm being 100%, which is if you're going to be a defender anyway, a fullback position and centre back. I don't need you to then fill in right back and potentially centre midfield. I don't really need all of that. So obviously I don't know what other players in terms of who we can sign out there. But in my eyes, I'm thinking everyone's talking about we needed a centre back or we need to sign a left-sided centre back. Okay, no problem. Why can't we just go out and sign that left-sided centre back and get rid of Gomez? Why can't we do that? If you do get it as an example, Inacio, someone who can play left wing back and can play in a left-sided centre back, as an example, just to use him, yeah. Why can't we go out and sign someone like him? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, and he's going to be better for our system as opposed to Gomez. I get Gomez being a utility guy, but is he good for our system though? What does he offer us? And this isn't me trying to crash it on Gomez, by the way, people. I just want to know, what does he offer us that we need Gomez to be there outside of the fact that he can play left back, centre back, and right back? Is that going to help us moving forward, or is it just because we got PTSD from the injuries? Like in terms of players,
injuries.
I hear it. Okay,
fair, injuries for me.
Fair. No. Fair. Now that's fair enough. That was just my thing. It's not. I'm not trying to crash it on Gomez. If we keep it, we keep it, man. I ain't crying about it, like whether he stays or goes. But if I heard someone came in with a 55 million pound bid, I'm saying, brother, you need to go. Like you fully need to go, because remember, ultimately, we ain't really got money anyway. The way that we're moving, or in terms of the way the club moves, should I say, we don't really like spending money. We need to get money from somewhere, and if we're not willing to let others go, and he's someone who I'm looking at and I'm thinking, well, someone's willing to pay 55 million, so you're making profit off of this guy. Why not just sell him? Why not? Then you can go and get your specialist left-sided centre back that people kept telling me that we needed for the team. I got no problems with that, because then I feel like we're working towards like getting the right team. At the moment, I feel like we've got too many like hanger-ons, like too many. Like Gomez is calm, by the way. Like I'm really not trying to crash on him. I don't want people to think that I'm really like, oh yeah, I think he's shit. I don't think that. It's just I just feel like we've got too many of these type of players where we're just keeping them because we've got PTSD. As you said, it's more because if we get injuries, etc. Bro, then that's the staff have to work to make sure that we don't get injuries as much. Then how about that? They've just got to work. They've just got to work towards something like that. I don't know, but I just don't want to have too many various just other Gomez's, Mortons, and all of these random guys. Like maybe not Gomez, he's not random, but you know what I mean. All of these extra players that we're just keeping here. Joe,
yes.
Yeah. Jones ain't too bad. Yeah,
man.
I'll give Jones.
Why do we do this?
Big up, JJ. I don't know if you can hear us, bro.
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah. Now we can hear you.
Yeah.
Big up.
How you doing, bro?
I'm calm. Just hot, man. Hot in Colombia.
What's it saying over there in Colombia, bro?
Like,
what's it saying over them sides?
It's calm. It's calm. Yeah, just proper hot eye opener, man. Real eye opener. Just in the Caribbean island, San Andres now, innit? So it's good. It's all good.
Jesus, guys, he ain't talking no Grand Theft Auto, I'll tell you. But now, Cherry, obviously, I don't know if you've seen the news and obviously heard the news, talking about, Gomez and Anthony Gordon. Apparently, there was a swap deal on the table a while ago, and Newcastle pulled out towards the end because they didn't need to do the deal anymore in regards to their whole PSR situation. But I just want kind of your take on, that whole deal. Is that something you'd want the club to revive again? Do you rate Gomez like that kind of thing? Let us know, man.
Break down the deal, because obviously I'm none the wiser as to what's going on. Like, I don't know what's going on with Gomez and Gordon. Like, that's news to my ears, isn't it? Like, no connection to the world, to be fair.
So, hold on. All right, I'm reading it right here. Liverpool agreed in principle a £45 million deal for Gomez as part of a package that would have seen fellow England international Anthony Gordon switch to Anfield for £75 million. So basically, essentially a swap deal, but we were going to add money on top for Gordon. So 30 million on top we were going to add for that whole swap deal to get Gordon in. And everything was agreed, by the way. The medicals were booked. They were supposed to have the medicals in Leipzig. So I'm assuming this is obviously during the Euros. They were going to have the medicals in Leipzig. But yeah, Newcastle just pulled out towards the end.
Right, so Gomez was on it as well, basically.
It sounds like it. Yeah. It sounds like he would have been on it as well. Obviously, to get, I'm assuming, regular game time, over there in Newcastle.
Yeah, regular game time. But if medicals were agreed, it's not like he's been forced out of the club, innit? Liverpool don't really do that. They're not like forced players at the club. So he's decided, I want to cut. Yeah, bounce then, innit? Bounce. I don't really know. He doesn't offer anything great apart from like backup, innit? And like getting backup is like, come on, man, backup. Like, that's what we're bargaining with backup. Like, if someone's a backup and they want to go, they should just be able to go in it. Like, backup something I'd assume a club should be able to just get really, really easily. I don't know. Gordon, am I a fan? I like his mentality. That's where it kind of ends for me, man. I'm not. He's good. Is he great? Is he better than man? I don't know, man. Like, I know people like to go and talk about. Yeah, I know, but I know people like to talk about, oh, you know what, Gordon got X amount of goals in Newcastle and Liverpool's a better team and stuff. But it's completely, we've seen it a lot of the time, it's completely different when you're the main guy, when everything runs through you, when every chance comes to you and you're the main guy to go and take Newcastle or whatever over the edge, right? Or over the edge in games. And then you've got to come and be a small fish in a big pond at Liverpool and try to do the same thing. It's completely different. Because Diaz at international level looks like the best player in the world. But clearly it's not working at do you know what I mean? And that's where it is at international level. He's cooking. At Liverpool, people are saying they're not rating it. So it's a completely different story for me, innit? So the idea that a Gordon can come in and just be like, yeah, like I'm going to be the main Don Dada, and because I get 15 goals at Newcastle, I can get 25 at Liverpool because it's a better team. It never works like that. I mean, if it did, he'd be a top player. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's decent, but is that Liverpool need right now, and is it just another opportunistic signing? Like, oh, we scouts, can we just get him? I don't know, man. Like, we need a six. Like, we need someone that can ball in the midfield. Now, that's what we need. Do we need a winger? It's like with Liverpool are doing it all over again with the whole centre back thing. Right? We need a centre back argument forward. We need a midfielder. Now we need a midfielder. Now Endo isn't good enough, like, for what was required to be, like what Slot wants to do. I don't know if people have seen the train. I've seen the training video today, to be fair, or late last night in Colombia. We're building up from the back. It's mad narrow.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I saw that during the game.
Yeah, you got two small goals either side, and then you're building up and you're mad narrow. And it's like we're building up with a two, and you got two in midfield, and it's mad narrow. You got to be a baller to play out like that. And there's a reason, and irrespective of what people think, there's a reason why Slots looked at him and been like, hey, you know what? Jones, you're playing in here for me, because out of who's available right now, he's the best in his ability to go and do that. Now, that then poses questions. What's Liverpool's ability on the ball if Jones is the best player you've got? It's the same thing we talk about with England and stuff. But He's got the ability to go and do that. But we need to get someone that's equally adept, if not better, to go and do something properly. You need to go and get Zubimendi. You need to go and get Mikel Merino. You need to get one of those players that can go and do that. It needs to be that profile of player. It can't just be a destroyer. It can't just be this type of player, because you see what will happen. You just give the ball away a lot, and you're just going to cause your own problems. It's going to end up looking like when we've seen, United try to play at the back before, and they're just making mistakes. You've got Wan-Bissaka getting on the ball and he's giving the ball away, and McTominay can't do it, and you're all looking like, why are they giving possession away? Why are they conceding mad goals? It's because they haven't got players in that position to go and do it, but they're still trying to play that way. If Slot wants to play his way, he needs to get his profile of player in it, and I don't think Endo's that. To be fair, I don't even think McAllister's that press resistant like that. He's a good passer, but probably want him in a bit more space. I don't know. I just think that's the area that Liverpool need to address. I don't think you need to really think about a centre back like that, because obviously if you don't do the swap deal, Gomez is still there. You still got Sepp Vandenberg that you can just keep if you wanted to. In it, you're not obliged to go and sell him. You can keep all these players, and then it's a situation where just get the six. I'm telling you, if Liverpool get a good six, it changes the whole dynamic of everything. It changes everything from that point on. Like your build-ups there straight away. You can keep your Salahs and stuff. They're just going to go and get goals. That's why I look at it anyway.
Nah, before we move on, of course I want to talk about this whole sixth position and stuff like that with the whole Endo situation. I'll go run through some of the comments, man. And again, big up everybody, by the way, who's joined us this afternoon, man. Like I said, I know it's hot and I know everyone's baking, but love to everybody. Honestly saying Liverpool have held talks with Spanish side Las Palmas over a potential friendly on Merseyside the day before the Sevilla game. I feel like we've done that before, and I feel like Konate got injured in one of those games. But
it was before. It was after the City game.
After the City, yeah, I thought so.
Then Konate got that knee injury, and we missed him for the start of the season.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Swap Joe for Cavaradonna. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't think they would even do that. Yes, because he's open to leave and get me Inacio or Ngape or Gertruda. Fairs. Big up Damien. Sounds like Gordon really wants Liverpool, so why splash the cash? Wait a year when Gordon only has a year left. Much better position. And this summer, use the cash to strengthen more vital positions. I hear it. That you know what it is? I think if we knew what the plan was, because with Liverpool, like I said, PTSD, bro. Like we've gone summers where we ain't signed anybody like that, like at all. Where we signed Adrian and Harvey Elliott. So Liverpool fans right now, you know what I mean? We've got crazy PTSD when it comes, you know what I mean, to these kind of things, man. So that's why it's a little bit techie when it comes to like deals and etc. Like I'll be honest, people say, "Oh yeah, trust the Michael Edwards." Bro, I don't trust none of these people to get things done in a way that will satisfy my own personal needs. So it is what it is, man. Gertruda has taken his time on picking his new club. Very keen to join a Premier League club. Finals value 28 million euros and has been to a Liverpool game, West Ham game, and a Tottenham game. I did not know. Philippe saying Jerry's doing Narcos season 5. That's fucking joke. Before we talk about selling Gomez, we kind of have to know what's going to happen with Trent, and we already need one defender. Listen, you think that Liverpool were in the greatest position in life right now. Like we can just worry about these things later, but we plainly don't. Big up Adiri. Hi, how are you? Malik. Malik Thiaw moved to Newcastle United, and Nicolas Gonzalez, 36 million deal for Newcastle. Gomez signed for Newcastle, and Al-Sula, 10 million deal for Newcastle United. Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying, man. A lot of clubs are doing deals and a lot of clubs are doing things. My thing is, I'm not gonna necessarily crash it on the fact that you haven't done a deal. My only issue with this whole situation, as I said before, is I just feel like there's too many. We're putting up too many excuses as to why a deal hasn't been done. I don't even mind the fact, and it's gonna sound weird, I don't mind the fact that you haven't done a deal. I just don't like the excuses as to why you haven't done that deal. If it was genuinely like, I don't know. Nah, I feel like this team is prime. Like if he came out and really said that, like, nah, this team is like, I don't need to really sign anybody unless someone wants to go. I really don't need to sign someone. Then I'll be like, fairs. If that's what you think, then that's what he thinks, isn't it? Like he's the manager, he sees them every day, so he must see something in the way that he wants the team to play. It's more the fact that we keep hearing stuff like, yeah, I need to assess the squad, and we need to kind of wait and see, opportunistic kind of deals, etc. I'm like, I don't really want to hear that kind of stuff, because to me, those things just sound like excuses. You don't need an entirety of a summer to be able to assess a full squad, because the reality is, you probably would know within, obviously there's going to be some players who are going to come back, I get it, but you kind of probably have an inkling at the bare minimum of some players that you might look at and think, I feel like this individual, whoever that is, will be able to come in and fit into this regime. Somehow it took you however many training sessions and one half of a game to say, yeah, Endo just is not your guy. Like, it took you that long when we could have told you before this that Liverpool had, like, in terms of moving forward, that position is quite pivotal in terms of the way you want to build up, the way that you want to play. Whether that defensive midfielder is like a Palinia and they're just a defensive, a robust kind of guy, and he's just there for the tackles, or am I looking for the Rodris of the Zubamendis and Moreno? Am I looking for that type of player? At the moment, you can tell, regardless of what category you put Endo in, he's not even up to the level anyway. So even if you wanted a destroyer, he's not even the best destroyer that's even out there. So surely you should have known that prior to coming in.
Even Slot said, before he was announced, he said that he was watching Liverpool games. So surely you should be able to look at certain players, for example, an Endo, and say, nah, he can't, he won't be able to kind of slot into our system.
But this is what I'm saying.
To do the role that I want him to do.
This is where my issue is. Like, it sounds great when you start telling people, and obviously I get it. Obviously, like I said, we're in August now. I think I said this on Enzo's stream the other day. Remember, when the season ended, we were obviously, it was all about Klopp obviously doing this whole, man was doing some farewell tour and doing all of these stuff, and man was just wasting time to leave the football club. But anyways, he left the football club.
John then, looks of course, annoyed, John just looks annoyed this whole stream. Say, G, man. John...
Because this is Liverpool, bro. This is what they do to us. Like, obviously, then Arne Slot comes in. We don't hear from Arne Slot for time, but we're like, okay, you know what, Fairs, it is what it is. We will move. We move forward, right? Then we finally hear from the brother. Still no signings, but it's calm. You know what I mean? We haven't heard from him. We know that players are going away for Euros and the Copa America. So we understand it as a fan base. We kind of get it. It's a bit long, but we kind of get it. Still don't hear from my man for a little while. We finally hear from him. When we do hear from him, of course, obviously he's coming in. He's doing his little thing in bits and bobs. Now we're getting to like the beginning of July, coming out to the middle part of July. Bearing in mind, at this point in time, we're midway towards the near the end of the Euros tournament in itself. Copa America is obviously, I think, starting fairly soon, if not started already. So now we're into that part. We haven't signed anybody. Of course, we've been told he just wants to assess the squad. Players obviously starting to now get knocked out of these games. They come back. Okay, cool. Let's see what's going on. We get to the end of of June, and then obviously, of course, and then the end of July. Now we're at the end of July, beginning of August, and we've got 16 days, I think, until the Premier League starts. 16, I believe. I think it starts August 16th.
It's getting techie.
It's getting real techie. So when people are looking at this whole situation, that's why I'm always like, bro, you need to understand this is why people are going to be frustrated, bro. You got to realize Liverpool are a club, like I said, who went a summer and signed Adrian and Harvey Elliott and Sepp Vandenberg when we won a Premier League. We just came third. No, we won the. It was the. I swear, no, it was the year we won the Premier League.
It was Champions League, bro.
Oh, it was the Champions League.
Yeah.
And
but this is my thing. This is my thing about the club here. Is just like the one time we've been proactive in the market is when we sold Coutinho, and that summer we addressed the issues. We had brought Van Dijk in that January. We saw what difference it made. We bought Alisson. We saw what difference it made. We bought Fabinho at 6, by the way. You saw what difference it made. That is probably the only time, probably in my lifetime, where I can say Liverpool transfer market, we done the business, and what came out of it was trophies. This is for me. It's all about being proactive. We've never been proactive since that window. At all.
John, do we think we were proactive because it was a madness. Like Liverpool sold their best player. Like Liverpool sold their best player at the time. Now let's not keep it a buck. He was the best player at the time.
That's not even close.
And you sell him, and it's like, raw. We've got to act. A bit in me feels like, you see, if like Liverpool lose a Salah, Liverpool lose an Alisson, that's when they're proactive. But it's like, raw. Like now I've got to turn up.
All the money.
Like, you've almost got to sacrifice the king. Yeah, no pun intended. But you got to sacrifice the king in order to go and do. I mean, to win the game, win the chess game, and that's it. Might have to be that. It might have to be a late Salah sale, and you're like, raw. Like now the Excel sheet is working. Do you know what I mean? The MacBook is up, fired up.
You say Salah, but arguably you could even put Trent in that bracket, because if Real Madrid come knocking and it's a serious interest from them, Liverpool, for me, how I would expect them to operate during that process is, okay, they'll be willing to sell Trent if he's open to a move. 100 mil plus. You already know, like, that now that's when like holes that are in the team are going to get addressed. Do you get what I'm saying? Then you'll see a top class 6 come in. Then you'll see maybe, I don't know, an additional left back. Then you'll get rid of Simicast. you start seeing real movement. But until that happens, you're not going to see no like solidified top signing because what you're seeing right now, Anthony Gordon, with all due respect, like it's a hopeful signing. For me, we're going for the wrong Newcastle player right now. We're going for the wrong Newcastle player. If that's the Newcastle player we want, we're going for the wrong one. And we want to.
Which one would you prefer?
No, I mean,
run.
There you go. Thank you. We need a 6. I've said we're going for the wrong Newcastle player. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm guessing you're talking about Bruno, innit?
Yeah, that's even funny. The fact that he had a release clause, right? Like it's expired now, but he had a release clause this summer, and that's obviously expired now. So I can't see Newcastle then saying, "Yeah, don't worry, man, we can negotiate." You know what I mean? On that kind of thing. Big up Asian Pops in the building, by the way. Sorry, go on, Jeff.
Now, I was going to say, too, do we think, because you're saying you don't accept the excuses that people are giving as to why Liverpool are making signings. So what is it then? Do you then think what Liverpool just unambitious? Do you think they ain't got peas, or do you think it's a situation where they're just like, you know what? We need to just wait and see, like, if someone comes in for Trent or something, because then we'll have to operate differently. And it's like a situation where if we go and spend our money now and then the money for Trent comes in and we've got a sell where he wants to cut, then what do we do? Then we're like scrapping and getting like a basic right back because we haven't really thought it out. Whereas they're kind of just waiting and biding their time just to say, all right, cool, what's going to happen? If the bid comes in for Trent, you let him go, or Salah, or Virgil, or whoever. And then from there, you kind of like, these are the players that are staying. Now I know what pieces to go and add in, as opposed to like, we're bringing in this player, but he might cut and he might cut, and we don't know who's staying, and contracts aren't here. And do you think Slot's just trying to keep the group together in order to not have that gelling period, as we said last season, or do you know what I mean? Or as you would expect usually with clubs where you get loads of signings in and they need to gel. And by that time, the season will be done, innit? By the time you hit January, because they've gelled, but it's too late.
You know what it is, yeah? Like, just to even touch on what Beijing Pops has said, obviously the whole wait till August thing, and obviously you said what you said there. For me, it's not about how I feel Liverpool should operate. I think we call ourselves an institution rather than a club. You get what I'm saying? So for me, it's like if that's the case, when it comes to being a big club, I expect you to plan ahead for the future. I expect you to get these contracts sorted during the season and not have our top players run down their contracts to the last year or 12 months. That to me, that's just irresponsible. I take it as if you're not serious. That's something that Arsenal used to do when Wenger was in charge, and you saw what happened at the end of that. And at the end of that, when you have that players like Nasri and Kolo Toure leaving on freeze and that and whatnot. So for me, it's like planning ahead and planning. That's the key. When you try to even start a new era, because I feel like from what I've seen of Slot, football, it looks decent. I just feel like you gotta give him the best chance possible by backing it, because right now what I'm seeing is like The excuses that I'm coming out saying, "Oh, wait till August," or they haven't found the right profile of 6, bro. You can go get me any 6 right now. They're all better than Endo. How can you tell me you've not found a better 6 than Endo right now that can, shift the ball in the way that Slot wants? Like, I don't get how.
I saw something from one of these guys, man, that he goes on Red. I forget his name. I don't want to be disrespectful. He's on the Red Men TV. He was on the Anfield Rap, and he was saying that he was at Chelsea or something like that, Chelsea Stadium. They had some like presentation or whatever with Ian Doyle, who's obviously part of like Liverpool's recruitment strategy. And he was saying there were 7 points as to why, particularly Liverpool, while a transfer will fail, like whether it won't go through or the player won't do well or whatever. You're saying that obviously some of them were like, obviously the players aren't good enough than what the players have at Liverpool. So, or what the players out there in that position aren't as good as the players that Liverpool currently have. So that's one of them. The second one was something like, I'm not saying it in order, but the second one was, the player's got some personal issues. The other one's, the player, he's playing out of position in his current team. So even though he's doing well, he's playing out of position. One of them was the manager might not rate him as well. So even if with all those 7 parts, I'm not going to say all of them. I'll actually send the link to you guys later. But with all those 7 points, if the manager doesn't rate him, it doesn't matter what the club think, because the club aren't going to go and buy a player just because they rate him, but the manager don't. And I think that's the kind of way they're going with Arne Slot now, is that, look, there might be a player out there that Liverpool are like, yeah, look, he's decent. It might be an Ederson or whatever. But if Arne Slot turns around and goes like, no, I don't really rate him like that for what I want, then it doesn't matter at that point. And likewise, it's all the other points. Arne Slot might rate him, all of that, but then the club will look at him and be like, yeah, but his numbers aren't great. So we're not going to value it. And if there's 7 key points as to why you're not signing a player, then it's like, it's difficult. Like it takes a lot to sign a player that's going to be successful at the club, innit? So it's an interesting one, man. It's an interesting one.
No, it's true. It's true. Bajan's here. He's asking, just obviously to John, if you were in the positions of Trent, Virgil, and Mo, would you have signed an extension knowing that Klopp was leaving and not knowing who was coming?
Well, when you're either one of those players with quite a lot of credit in the bank, I think it's all right to know, have the knowledge on whether the manager that you've been playing for is going to stay or go, and you have a right to know where the ambition of the club lies in terms of who they're going to come to get them to that top level. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, if it's a case where if I'm VVD or Trent or Mo and I don't know who's coming in to further elevate the team to the level that the team needs to be, then of course I'm gonna have my
reservations.
Like my reservation, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna have my reservations because at the end of the day, I want to win. Do you know what I'm saying? Wait, are we not in it to win it? This is my thing, is like I just feel like the mentality is just, if it's not already, I just think it's just slowly declining so bad to where it's like, I get people obviously understanding the reality of our situation is that, you know, we only buy players based on obviously the sales that we make. I totally get that, but I just don't think that ambition is there for a lot of people, let alone the club. Do you know what I'm saying? So
no, man. The thing is, no, you see with that kind of question, right? I'll put you like this: unless there was an inkling that Liverpool were about to just get in, like some Ipswich manager, as an example. No. Like, this is obviously in regards to these 3, yeah. Unless those 3 thought, bro, it looks like Liverpool gonna get that Ipswich manager, you know. Like, I'm saying, like, that's the level that we're kind of moving in as a football club. I look at that and just think to myself, like, I get, obviously you don't know who's coming. I get all of that, and I fully, understand it. But if that's how they are moving, brother, then you just sell them. All 3 of them, they have to go then, because they're not committed to the football club. They're clearly not committed to the football club, because the reality is, I'd be looking at that, and I'm kind of more in agreement with, bro, you should have, regardless of who the manager is, you should have been getting that sorted out. But fair enough, if those three did have to look at it and think, let me just wait a second and see who I'm gonna get in, and etc. etc. Like, that's what makes me think, what did they think, that we was gonna get like a, I mean, I don't know, but like we was gonna get like the Ipswich manager, or we was gonna get some Leighton Orient manager? No disrespect to them guys, but is that who they thought we was gonna get? Because if so, I hear it 100%, but man's not trying to sign a new deal. Did you get what I'm trying to say? But if you had maybe a tad bit more respect for the club and stuff like that, I feel like you would have looked at it and thought, well, I don't think they're going to get the Leighton Orient level manager. I feel like they're going to obviously try and aim for someone a bit, better than this. And obviously within a Liverpool remit in terms of, whatever and whatnot. And of course, Virgil van Dijk being the captain, I'm not saying he's involved in what's going on behind the scenes in terms of manager, but he himself is definitely going to be looking at the situation and thinking, hey guys, listen, man, we need to try and get this one right, because if we don't, obviously with Klopp leaving, etc., and these kind of things will reverberate around the squad. So not knowing who's coming in, again,
quick one then, yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, quick one, yeah. Like, cool. If we're looking at the situation, yeah, with those three players, what if they don't rate Slot? What if they're looking at it like, brother?
No, fair. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what makes me think.
There's a brother coming in. Like, he's now trying to build up. He's now trying to build up. And they're talking about the City, what's it called, the Ipswich manager or whatever. That's Maresca. Where was he? Man City?
He was at Man City, he was. He was.
Where was Slot?
Final.
Where was Slot?
No, but
at final
FC 20
there, like,
it was some
all them type of team. Yeah, so it's like it's one of the ones. If they look at, they're like, hold on, like, yeah, they're saying they're going to get a manager, but this is the manager they're getting. Like, I've won everything there is to win, so I'm at a different trajectory. Like, we're coming in, and I need to win now. The players at Jones that are smiling, they're trying to build themselves up. Elliot trying to build himself up. That's a completely different profile of player. That's why them man are smiling. That's why them man are smiling.
Bro.
No, but they are, because they're like, oh my god, like I get to like establish myself. I'm not coming in now. Like, he's not viewing me as a young buck. He's viewing me as a player ready to perform. He's not viewing me as an academy player, right? The Jones that was always looked at as an academy player. Elliot always looked at as an academy player. Yeah, the young lads coming in, they're not looked at as young lads anymore. You can call them a young. Not going to be looked at that, so they're going to
of course.
The rest of these guys that have the players that have achieved. So your Alisson, your Trent, your Virgil, obviously, your Salah. Obviously, I don't think Robertson's injured, so he's not there. But a lot of that cohort have won everything there is to win in football. So you can't impress them with ball. With just, we're going to play nice football, because they've won. Yeah. So they want to win now. Their career is not there anymore, so they can't go and sign an extension that might potentially hinder their chances of getting a move somewhere where they can go and win. Because in the same breath, you're saying if they had respect for the club, if their performance has dropped, the club wouldn't hesitate twice at selling them. They wouldn't hesitate twice at moving them on to whatever club that suits them. They would even be in control in that situation. If, like, do you know what I mean? If Salah was dead and all of a sudden Roma comes calling, he's like, bro, I don't want to go back to Roma. Like, yeah, but Roma's the only team, bro. He ain't going to play here. Like, you're just going to have to go in it like that. And a lot of the time, that's what it is. So it's just where, look, the manager, we don't know what he's doing yet. Like, I like what I'm seeing on the training pitch and stuff, but that's about it. I don't know what he's like. I don't know what his mentality is to win. I don't know what his decision making is like in big games. Like, I'm not going to take anything that I see in a pre-season at all, bro. Facts, bro. That's what I'm saying. I didn't even know about the news. I did it like Hollywood Rock. Facts. I did not even know about this news until G said it in the stream. So I agree. I'm just giving my unbiased opinion in it.
No, of course.
That's what it is. It's like, brother, like, they're not rating him like that. Like, I'm not rating him like that. So why would I expect them to rate him like that? I'm rating.
That's
him.
what makes
like, football. But is he better than Maresca? What? Why? Why is he better?
No, by the way, I'm not. I'm not saying either whether he is better than Maresca or not. That's obviously will remain to be seen, obviously, with how that kind of pans out, right? But I think when it comes to that, what you're just saying there, this is exactly what I was mentioning when we got him in, and everyone. And listen, look, I want to see good football, of course I do. But you're right, the top guys are looking at it thinking, your football's nice, but you ain't done shit in football. So having all that nice football might not be enough, which again is why I'm saying if that is how they're going to feel about the situation, then we shouldn't be still here in July / or basically August, looking at it thinking, yeah, they might sign a new deal or whatever. I mean, listen, they might, in 2 weeks' time, Trent might sign a new deal. In 3 weeks' time, Van Dijk might sign a new deal. And again, you're right, this might just all completely blow over, and we're not even talking about this kind of stuff. But at the moment, I hear the fact that they're looking at the situation, and it's like, I don't really know, man, if I really want to sign a deal and etc. But then the reality is it's only to Liverpool's detriment. It's not to Liverpool's benefit, it's to Liverpool's detriment, because now if as an example you don't get it sorted out, let's say before the transfer window ends, you're now in a very precarious situation, because we all know come January, foreign clubs can now look at all 3 of these players and potentially sign pre-contracts, and you might lose some of your best players due to whatever. Now, this is where obviously John's talking about the whole, planning forward. So that's why with those 3, it's a tricky one. I fully get what Jerry's saying, and I hear it, and I find it funny when I hear like the takes on these kind of situations. But at the same time, I'm also like, bro, like at some point, and again, like I said, I don't know, guys. I can't read into the future, and none of you can. So one of us is going to be right, one of us is going to be wrong ultimately in this situation. If they don't sign a new deal, now the energy starts to shift and starts to change now. If they do sign a new deal, cool, no worries, we can move on. Maybe that's one of the reasons why we're not spending too much money, because we need to spend a brick on these guys' wages. I don't know. I really don't know. Until such time, then we can, we can kind of get into it. But with those 3, it's just funny that you've been put in this position. Maybe not to your fault. Maybe it is. Maybe a little bit your fault. But you got to deal with it in some way, shape, or form. So let's kind of wait and see. Big up, Pops, man. How many of the 6s in the Premier did we think were better than Endo last season? I don't even know, man. Who are 6s in the Premier League these days?
So there was Rodri. There was I think Jorginho was played as a 6 in the second half of the season. Who else was there? Basuma was there, and what's his name? Casemiro, but he was awful.
There wasn't really that. What did you say?
Partey was an awful last season.
Partey as well. He's a baller.
He's a baller, but
what are you talking
we're talking. No, he's talking about last season, like just not in general, like last season.
Okay.
Yeah. So last season, obviously, Partey he was shit when he came back, bro. Them man he was doing too much, bro. He was doing too much kung-fu or something, but yeah, he was moving man. But yeah, there wasn't really that many, which is so crazy to think. There wasn't that many, and I'd still sell the guy in a heartbeat because he is dead food. Which kind of tells you everything you need to know, just in regards to the quality of players that are even available in the Premier League. Obviously, I'm not talking about the rest of Europe.
He had good moments. He had good moments last season, like in the final.
Listen,
but it's like we're moving forward as a club in terms
of
we brought in a manager.
You know what it is?
Wants to play a specific.
Go on, no, finish. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, we've brought in a manager who wants to play a specific style of football, and Endo does not suit that role. I saw him against Betis, and this guy was like, he kept giving the ball away. You can tell he's one of those players, that they don't really want the ball like that, in terms of that they're not comfortable on it, so they don't really want it. And we don't need those kind of players. Like Jones wants the ball all the time. McAllister wants the ball, and the system how we play out from the back is very similar to De Zerbi's. So De Zerbi would have 2 8s at the edge of the box. You have the centre backs, and then you have his full backs out on the touchline, out wide. So once they break that press, they want the opposition to press them. They've really just countered them, and then they have a lot more space to exploit. So I don't think Endo suits that. So if we're trying to look at the kind of profile that I keep hearing, you just go and get a Zubimendi, you can go and get a Wharton. There's not many in terms of profile that slot may want. Veef has just gone to Brighton.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, so there's not many, but it can be done.
No, it can 100% be done. Big up Jamrock in the build, but I feel like I ain't spoken to Jamrock in a time, man. Hope you're doing well, bro. People losing their head over clickbait articles. I need to figure out a way to monetize this type of stuff because as LFC fans, we fall for some of the weirdest stories. I agree, but I have to back them in this situation. Unfortunately, I can understand where people are coming from. Ultimately, let's just put you like this. A squad that finished third last season with one of the best managers of this generation, quote unquote, but for sake of argument, for one of the best managers in the Premier League anyway, right, has now replaced that manager with a manager at the moment we don't know, but let's just say we're going to go off reputation because that's all we can do, is probably not even in the top 20 managers that you would have thought about, prior to him joining the football club. So that obviously that's one side of it. On top of that, the structure behind the football club has now reverted back to what it was when we were trying to win the Premier League the first time. So we've gone back to that kind of strategy because we got Michael Edwards in and we're doing all of this, glory stuff, right? Fair enough. Cool. No worries, right? On top of that, 95% of you, myself included, have spent the majority of last season crashing on more or less 95% of this squad. Again, myself included. So there's also that. Now we continue forward and we know as I mentioned before, we've been through summers where we've won something and the only signings we made was Adrian, Harvey Elliott and Sepp Vandenberg in one summer. So obviously people are looking at this whole situation and they're just a little bit worried. It is going to be I agree with you, by the way, Jamrock, 100% in terms of we do fall for some of the stuff, but I can actually get why now people would even fall for this kind of stuff, not because of obviously gullibility or whatever. It's just purely like, bro, we finished third last season. We got knocked out of everything, bar the Carabao Cup. Did you get what I'm saying? We did dead in everything else, bar the Carabao Cup. So if that is the case with the squad that we did have, if we're now looking at the squad again, moving on to the new season, knowing that there is at least two teams who most of us would say will probably finish ahead of us this season, who are looking like they want to improve. One of them are definitely looking like they want to improve, and one of them's got the best manager on planet Earth. Like, obviously, people are going to be like, bro, we need to do something. Did you get what I'm trying to we need to do something to at least show some level of intent. Again, I get it. It's not August yet, but I'll keep it a buck. And this isn't at you, Jamrock, specifically. I'll keep it a buck. See, when people say, July, it will happen in August. It may happen in August. I'm not a mind reader. But you see all of that August talk. You lot told me that same thing in June. You told me now in July, don't worry, G, in July, we'll get cracking. All right, July's done. We're now getting into August. We're getting closer and closer to the start of the Premier League anyway. Did you get what I'm trying to say? So that's why I say I agree on one side of things totally, because we do fall for some of the stuff and I hear it. But on the flip side, I actually now starting to understand why some people are just getting a little bit frustrated because it's all the points I just mentioned, because now we're starting to get like, bro, like it's not even about comparing to other teams or whatever. It's just about you as an individual. Nobody in this chat or on the panel could even convince me that this Liverpool squad, if you signed nobody and let nobody go, will put up a title challenge next season. I promise you, if you even try to have that conversation with me, I'm just even going to just leave it there. You know why? Because I'll catch you in December. I'll catch you in December when we're looking crazy.
Sure, they were saying, you'll be like, how do you know? You never.
No. But this is what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader, so I can't predict what's going on. I mean, Jerry talking about 5 years. Jerry was talking about this 2 years ago. Liverpool thing winning whatever in 5 years. Yeah, it's looking real close. We're now in year 3, by the way, of that 5 years that Jerry was talking about. We're in year 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, and this is what I'm trying to say is that people are obviously going to get annoyed at these kind of things. It's just understandable. Do I think we should be, buying into everything? No, we shouldn't. At the end of the day, we need to, we need to sort of like understand that there's going to be certain things that when you read it, just read it take it with a pinch of salt, 100%. But on the flip side, it's just one of them kind of things. It honestly is one of them kind of things. So you're saying there is a talent drain overall, much like there was a shallow pool for managers, is the same for players. So the job to improve us isn't that easy. Yeah, for you. I mean, I don't rate the squad like that. So for you, I like me personally, I don't rate the squad in the way that some people rate it. So there's a host of players I would have got, or obviously not just spending willy-nilly, but there are players out there I would have signed and gotten rid of from this football club time ago, like just time ago. But that's just me, and I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying me personally, because I don't rate the squad like that. Like I haven't rated the squad for time. So that's probably a difficult one to kind of answer, because the reality is it's all really down to what Slot thinks. If Slot thinks that there isn't that many players out there to improve, he's got every right to think that. Of course he does. He's the manager. Like I said, he sees them every single day. Me, I don't rate the squad like that. Do you know what I mean? Like there's really a small number of players that I realistically rate for me to be like, yeah, now keep this guy, don't try and let him leave, etc. The rest, I'm like, well, he can bounce. You know what I mean? They've proven that they can't do what we need them to do, but we're all here trying to fight the cases and all that kind of stuff. But big up Jamrock. Journalists just found out about the Endo offer weeks after it was rejected. Same with Gomez swap, and we think they're briefing journalists weekly. Yeah, that's funny. I never. It's mad that all of these things happened time ago, and only now we're finding out about some of these things. Like that, I found that quite interesting. That interesting kind of news, to be honest with you. But hey, maybe that's the way that we're moving now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe come the end of the transfer window, we sign someone, but we blatantly signed him 3 weeks before that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like we might do something a bit different. Big up Michael Talks, man. Make sure you guys head on over there and subscribe. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna leave out in the next 10 minutes anyway before we get some final thoughts. Big up Ottoman in the building. Hope you're good. Hakeem, I feel like this season will shock many. Football is inherently unpredictable. 100%. Would it shock me that Liverpool go around and win the Premier League? It probably wouldn't. It really probably wouldn't. After the fact, Michael saying Gordon is average at best, and people are reacting like we're signing Dino. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. We were top until 7 games to go. We fell off. It's not like we struggled and got third. We finished third. I couldn't give two shits about when that finishing third happened. My boy, we finished third. I promise you, we finished third. Got slapped in the Europa League, got slapped in the FA Cup, and won that Carabao Cup, which I'll give kudos to Liverpool for doing. 100%. Who told you June? Fans, what do they know? Who told us July? Who told us August? It's one of them ones. It's like no manager's gonna come out and realistically say, yeah, we're gonna sign a player in July. Yeah, we're gonna sign a player, unless it's obviously basically done and dusted, or we're gonna sign a player in August, or what have you and whatnot. Of course, bro. Like I said, you got to just take everything with a pinch of salt. Obviously, and this is what I said. I agree with you in that sense. But the reality is, when you've been told or what's been reported or whatever that it's going to happen in, say, a certain period of time, like I said, people are going to get angry, bro. Yeah, I mean, I have to stick up for the people this time. Usually I don't. Usually I'm on the other side. Usually I'm the one beefing everyone else. But I have to stick up for the people, man, because the reality is, like I said, you're talking about a team that finished third, fifth the season before that. Like, we ain't won the league since 1920. I know that doesn't sound like a long time, but next year will be 2025, which will make it 5 years if we don't win the league then. Yeah, you see that 5 years? I bet Liverpool in the 90s thought the same thing. Guess what? It took another 25 odd after that point before you ended up winning the league again.
Comfortable conversation.
So, you know what I mean? It's almost like you just don't want to fall down into like a rabbit hole before you know it. You know what I mean? A year's gone by, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. All of a sudden, Arsenal have got 2 Premier Leagues. All of a sudden, things are just looking a little bit different. And now we're going to be still using the same old excuse of, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Do you know what I mean? No, that's cool. Don't worry about it. The team's good enough where we don't need this player to improve that position. And this is what I'm saying. Like, I'm just tired, bro. I don't want to go. I thought I was going to leave that era of being in secondary school where man was getting laughed at. Constantly getting laughed at, bro, for being a Liverpool supporter. Because one, I'm probably the only person, but two, because we ain't winning nothing. We ain't doing nothing of substance. You think I care about the fucking League Cups and FA Cups? I don't care about that shit. You know, I could give two shits about that stuff. Not when I'm seeing the Arsenals and the Manchester Uniteds, then the Chelseas, then now obviously the Manchester Cities, them man coming into school and class and college and uni and laughing at man saying, bro, where's your Premier League, bro? I'm saying, nah, it's coming. It's coming. Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Come on, man. Like, that's kind of tired of
I have a
stuff,
question for everyone.
Yeah, go on.
What do you guys think of Jerome Neves?
I'll let you guys answer that if you will.
Don't really know much about him, to be fair.
Do you think he comes into our team and improves us?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
You know what it is, yeah? No, because I haven't watched him, so I can't really answer that. But just given the business that we've done with Benfica in the past, I just feel like it might be a possible another bump. So I'm not really trying to hear no player from Benfica right now, just from PTSD. So
that's a bit. I forgot. Yeah. I forgot Darwin Nunes came from.
Serbian
Do you
Messi.
still have the receipt?
Huh?
Do you still have the receipt for Nunes? Give him back in it.
Nah, man. You only get 30 days return service, and if you don't return after 30 days, you have to keep that shit. Only way now you can return it is if like maybe you could return it, but for less money though. Yeah, I mean, like, or maybe potentially try look to just sell it. You try to sell your games to CEX or something. Yeah, you're gonna have to try and do something like that, bro.
You might as well just do it, man.
It's just not gonna really work. Big Hollywood Rock, he said secondary school was a peak, apart from 2005. I'll keep it, but even that year, it wasn't fun. It really wasn't fun. It was only fun at the end. It was not fun during the season though. What, finishing below Everton, bro? Do me a favor, bro. That's mad. We got Michael Cooley. Yo, I don't want bloody Gordon. 19 Prem goals in 127 games. I didn't know that was his record. Paul Smith, our squad is vastly overrated. We need some serious signings in so many areas, such as left back, CDM, left-sided centre back, left wing, forward, preferably a clinical one. I would really love if Liverpool. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. I would actually just love if Liverpool just signed a forward. Boots Ennis, the boxer, would be better. But Portugal players do cook in the Prem.
G, do you actually think Liverpool need a forward out of every position? Or is that just being like greedy? Like, we need another forward.
It will be just being greedy. Like, that's not a priority position. But if I could sign like an Isak tomorrow, then I would sign Isak tomorrow, like straight off the rip. But it's not. I'm not going to do that to the detriment of other positions in the squad, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Never's going to PSG. Yeah, no, I hear it. All right, guys, let's move on to the last bit anyway before we, of course, we head out. We got the game tomorrow. What's you guys kind of like thoughts in behind, obviously, in terms of what you guys want to see? Is there anything you're looking out for, in this game? And do you think we're going to win? Not that it really matters, but yeah, do you think we're going to win? I'll go to you, John, or anyone can go if you want.
Well, I wouldn't be able to watch the game because I'm doing a night shift, so that's the one. But do I think we're going to win the game? I don't think we'll win the game, but I think we'll probably put a decent performance. I think coming across an opposition like this, I think you're more likely to find a bit more about Slot and how the players have adjusted to his style of play. And I do think it's going to take time. So I think coming against an opposition like Arsenal is good. It's good. I think you need that in pre-season. So, but I think I'm more interested to see how the Man United game pans out. I know this is about Arsenal, but I'm more interested to see how that Man United game will pan out. But for personal reasons, but yeah, I think we'll learn more about Slot and the team during against Arsenal. I don't think it matters whether we win or lose. I just think we just can gain knowledge on where we're at. You know what I'm saying? So
if we lose 6-0, it doesn't really matter, like, because you know what I'm saying.
I'm not saying 6-0, but if we're saying 6-0, then we have serious conversations to have, man. You know what I mean?
No, you said obviously no matter. So if we lose 6-0, probably like, yeah, we just see where we're at. Okay, if we lose 6-0, we definitely know where we're at this current moment in time.
Oh yeah.
Trust and believe.
There's still knowledge there. So
Of course. What about you, Harris, man? What are you looking forward to seeing? Or you know what? Who are you looking forward to seeing, if there is anybody?
I'm looking forward to seeing how Szoboszlai is able to kind of how how Slot may use him, because they used him as a 10 in the 2. Does Slot bring in Jota, play him up front, and kind of drop him a bit deeper, or does he stay in the same position and drop Elliot a bit deeper? Where does Endo fit into this? Does he still go with Vandenberg, or does he bring in Kanate? What else is there?
I forgot about Kanate, yeah.
What's going to happen with Carvalho? Is Carvalho going to start again? Does he use Szoboszlai out wide? Because I heard that Szoboszlai has been used as a winger recently in training. So it's little things, but I just need to see a good performance. I need to see the patterns of play. I need to see little things like that. They've been training for a bit now. They've trained at Ajax and they've trained in America. Surely we can see something just a bit better than what we saw against Betis, because there were moments certain men were giving the ball away. Certain men were taking too many touches in the box. So I just need to see a better performance, a bit more improvement than Betis. Other than that, I don't really care about the result. I would care if it's 6-0, because 6-0 is a bit much.
Sorry, guys. I know 6-0 started to hurt feelings in that, but I didn't need to score that.
But yeah, it's not nice to lose to Arsenal, because I'm pretty sure everyone on this stream, everyone on the panel, knows how annoying Arsenal fans can be.
I hear it. You know what it is? If we didn't live in an era, and obviously, Jerry, I want to get your thoughts. If we didn't live in an era of this whole bragging rights thing, even in a pre-season friendly, I promise you, no one would really care. It's only now, like, you see how, like, everyone, all the teams are like, man, are staying up late to watch Chelsea games, for example, just to cuss them when they lose. I'm like, bruh, like, you can't just watch the game and just watch the game. Like, there has to be like some edge to it. And I'm thinking, bro, like, is it that deep? Like, I don't get it.
That used to be me, you know. I used to watch Chelsea, especially because I hate Chelsea with a passion, man. Yeah, I hate Chelsea and I hate Arsenal. When was it? It was like a season or two ago. I used to watch their friendlies just to see what happens. And if they lose, yeah, I'm tagging people on on Snapchat or whatever, saying what's happened. But now it's more like I'm watching football for the analysis part of it, because I want to see what Maresca's got about him. I don't really care about the result. Obviously, it's nice to see Chelsea lose. Like,
yeah, no, of course.
I was smiling when I saw Furuhashi, Matt O'Reilly, and then man moving to Chelsea.
Matt O'Reilly and that crazy.
He'll go.
And same with City as well. It's nice to see them concede a few goals. It's nice to see Pep
you know the City thing though. Man can't really ever watch their I watch them because obviously if it's just on, like I watch the Barcelona 2-2 one. And you know what, I'm watching City and I'm just like, the thing is, yeah, no one can go off anything in this. Like, I can't, you know, like you might look at a team and be like, yeah, okay, you know what, Arsenal, look at the way that they're playing. Yeah, they got the centre backs inverting here. Liverpool, they want to build up from the back, as Jerry said, you know, build up 2 at the back, very narrow. Yeah, we got the wide man 3 and that. But with City, but I don't know what the hell my man's gonna do though. And you know what? It doesn't even matter what he's gonna do, because the reality is his team is probably gonna be the best team anyway. So I'm just like your preseason games are actually genuinely just a preseason game where I'm just watching it just for the sake of it. Like they lost to Celtic the other day. I promise you, no one's talking about it like that. Was it Celtic? Yeah, they lost to, I'm sure. Yeah, they lost to Celtic and AC Milan. I think no one's really talking about it like that. Whereas the Chelsea losing to Celtic, whew, man can't stop laughing about that one, boy. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ever see on my timeline is all the goals that they conceded. Whose fault was it? Everyone's micro-analyzing. When it's City, no one's micro-analyzing because you know what, go on. You know how their thing is set. You know what they're going to be on during the season, which is I just find absolutely funny, man. But it is what it is, man. Jerry, if you're there, what are you looking forward to, or who are you looking forward to see in this game? Is there anyone that you're like, yo, I want to see how he plays in this system, etc. For the Arsenal game?
For me, I'm looking at the development of Jones, man. I feel
what time? Sorry, before you continue, what time is it right now over there?
What, in Colombia?
Yeah, what time is it?
10:28.
It's the same for me as well.
10:20. Oh, in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh right. Say no more. Go on. Sorry, I just want to know.
Yeah. What are you in Jamaica, Harris?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm in the Caribbean as well, innit? So that's why. Us island boys, innit? Nah, that.
Yeah, Ireland boy.
Still stuck in
But,
England,
no.
yeah? You too.
Hey, nah, obviously, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, anyways, Jerry, who do you want to see in the game? But yeah, sorry, go on. Jones.
Yeah, for me, it's Jones. I think Jones is going to be massive for Slot. I think Slot's a fan of him. And I think the fact he's been the guy that, coming out with a press conference, he's the one getting on the ball. He's the one that's, I think Slot's looked at, when we're talking about, you can't analyze a team just in one summer. I think Slot's been analysing the team. I actually think he has been. I think he'd be silly not to. And I think he's looking at England's under 23 performance. I think it was in the Euros, under 23 Euros,
under 21s.
where the under 21s, where it was Curtis Jones and Angel Gomez in a double pivot, and how he was able to go and break lines, break passes. I think it's a matter of Slot trying to unlock that. And I think he feels if he can unlock that, then he's got a baller in there, especially someone that understands the Premier League, understands the team. But it's obviously difficult because Liverpool's still Liverpool, so they're making the same movements. It makes it difficult for everyone. But I think I'm intrigued to see how that goes as a player. But then in general, I just want to see how they build up, how they come up against a team that can ball as well in it, and how they're going to go and be able to how they're going to be able to go and navigate that. How it's going to work with Arsenal pressing, how it's going to work with, do you know what I mean, the likes of the defensive line. If Arsenal do drop off, how to break them down? Is it still out wide and getting crosses in? Is it a bit more intricate? That's going to be interesting, and that's about it.
What about you? Sorry, John, I never asked you before. Who are you kind of looking forward to seeing, in this game as well? So obviously you got Szoboszlai and you got Curtis Jones. Is there anyone different, or are you one of the two?
This is gonna sound so harsh, man, but I'm not really I'm just not moved, man. I can't lie. Just in general, I'm just not really moved by any of these players right now. It's just like, the only way I can describe it is, if I was American, if I was a citizen of the United States, and obviously you see all these people running for president, and you're to ask me, who do you think is worthy of being
best
president?
candidate?
The best candidate. Do you know what my answer would be? My answer would be, I ain't seen it yet. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to. It's really hard for me to say who I'm looking for.
But it come like Trump, like the whole Trump, obviously the US presidency. I feel like you see over there in America, just like with the UK, it's the best of a bad bunch. Don't ever for 1 second think that Trump is a good president. It's just you're picking from literally the worst bunch of people that you can find. He just happens to be the better of all of them. So that's what I find with these kind of, even with the UK, with the whole Labour stuff and with their election. You gotta realize, bro, like the reality is, it's just man just picking from the shittest ones here, who's just not as shit as the other. That's it.
I'll tell you what. I am interested because I know there is a bit of a debate on Szoboszlai, or just anyone who's really trying to play that 10 or that advanced creative midfielder role. So any midfielder that's has that profile, I'm interested to see how they perform on the slot, whether that be Szoboszlai, Carvalho, or Elliott, even the three. I'm interested to see how their trajectory will be under him. Because obviously I do think all three do possess good talents going forward. I just feel like they haven't been unlocked yet, and whether Slot can be that guy to unlock that thing they have, which is the reason why we bought those three, we'll have to see in it. So yeah.
Nah, man, I hear it. I think it will be good to see. maybe like a Kwanzaa or something. Like, I just want to know what that then looks like anyway, with the fact that you're trying to build up from the back. But he's kind of already good at it anyway. But I guess it'd be good to kind of see him. One of the interesting ones I'll be looking at a Conor Bradley, because I just want to know how like the way he's utilizing his fullbacks, because obviously we know Conor Bradley, Trent. Now, I'm not saying Conor Bradley has to start over Trent, and I'm not saying Trent has to start over Conor Bradley. What I am saying is I'm just intrigued to see how he uses these fullbacks, because that will give you a better indication as to what he wants from his fullbacks moving forward, and whether or not that includes Trent in that position, or potentially Trent maybe playing in a 6 role. Maybe Trent is the player. Maybe Trent is the one that he wants to see in the 6. Maybe that's why we're waiting. Maybe that's why he's thinking, I think Trent can do that role. No, bro, you know I don't want him to play the 6. You done know, like I ain't trying to see that. But
after seeing,
it wouldn't surprise me if he wanted that to happen, just to see, just like even in 1 game, 2 games, or whatever. Let me just see what that looks like, because he might be able to do the whole picking the ball up from deep, or I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, but maybe that could be, you know, it's just something to think about, really. You know what I'm trying to say. So
you know what? I was watching the Bournemouth game against Liverpool at the start of the season. We won 3-1. I rewatched it like a couple of weeks ago, and Trent was inverted, and how we conceded our first goal was because of Trent's poor first touch. You know, I can't see it in the system where he has his face facing his own goal, and he has to kind of at times turn. He has to take his first touch has to be pristine a majority of the time, and honestly, I don't trust him enough to be able to do that on a consistent basis.
Right.
To where he may get pressed at times and he's just getting rushed off the ball and we're conceding chances. I've seen it for England, seen it for Liverpool, where it led to a goal, and England it led to a chance. I just don't see the point of putting Trent as a 6 because he can ping a ball, for example. Like, we've got other midfielders that can probably do a better job in that role and can probably survive being pressured while building up from the back. And then plus also Konate is another one. Seeing how we're playing out from the back, do you kind of see how we can fit in to this system where he has to be good on the ball? None of this heavy touch business, or his passing may be a bit off at times. Do you kind of see him fitting into the system?
If I had to pick, I would rather just play Kwanzaa purely from what I've seen last season. Like, I'll be like, well, if I can still have a good defender, and you know what, I say big up to the people who were rating Kwanzaa last season, because I definitely was not rating, man. Like when he first come into the squad and all of that. But maybe lose my train of thought. Yeah, like I haven't seen anything from Konate that would suggest to me like, now like Konate, you gotta be the one. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta play. Now, I'm not saying Konate necessarily dead, just for this type of football where now it's not necessarily so much about your physical attributes, it's more about what can you do on the ball. Kwanzaa is infinitely better than Konate, so I would look at it and probably say Kwanzaa. But listen, I can see him playing Konate. Like it's just one of them kind of things. He might just play him. Maybe Konate gets played into form, and then all of a sudden Konate is pulling out 60-yarders from the back, and you know what I mean, he's dribbling past 6 man. Like, I don't know, like maybe he can start doing, you know what I mean, some of these kind of things. But again, we'd have to just wait and see. It's going to be so interesting to see what everyone's first team would be for the first game of the season, or the 11 is going to look like for that first game of the season, if we don't sign anybody, because I think that's going to be an interesting one. But guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Hope everyone's obviously blessed. I will be back tomorrow. I will do my match reaction probably around about 11:30. So yeah, just make sure you guys stay tuned. Obviously, we'll talk about the game, anything we liked, dislike. Hopefully we don't get slapped. So, because if we do, I will be cussing everyone, every man and their dog. So we just have to wait and see. Big up John, big up Jerry, big up Harris. Love for obviously joining me this afternoon. Guys, stay blessed, and I will catch you on the other side. Peace.